Peace, everyone. It's Black Eyed Priestess. I guess it's like the dog days of summer. I think that's what they call it, the dog days of summer, when it's just like the last few nice hot days. And I've been working all summer, but I've more so than working. I've been healing. I've been thinking, planning, just kind of taking mental notes, and I haven't really been checking in. I haven't been doing a lot of uploads. And it's kind of like one of those things where if you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. I just haven't had the proper inspiration to really, do uploads that I feel like I'm really feeding people. You know what I'm saying? As Black Eyed Priestess, I've just been kind of focused on myself. It takes a lot of energy to constantly interact with people, in the workplace, on social media, in general. And I guess I just haven't had the right energy. I've been saving my energy for myself. I gave some things away yesterday to some coworkers. I call it a token of friendship. It's been a while since I, have taken time to open up to people, because a lot of people just haven't shown any worth. They haven't shown that they have anything to offer. They just don't have any Holy Spirit about them. But, I'm just recognizing that no one's gonna reflect me, but when you see some reflection, of something beautiful, I've just been learning to share myself again. Because every time I do, I get hurt and disappointed. But now that I've accepted that, no one can really offer you what you can offer. So the only joy is going to come from giving and making other people happy. But I know that other people don't have much to offer me yet. The more I offer, the more I'll be in a position where I'll meet people who have something to offer me. Whether it's a job that can actually compensate me for what I really do. Whether it's a person. It's funny, the water is acting up now. Every time I start talking, the water is so calm and smooth, and now I'm talking and the water is becoming emotional like me. It's acting up. There's no boats or anything. It's just starting to get lively. Peace, Kim. Loves. Peace, everybody. Water's just kind of definitely over at my spot, my sacred spot. It's been high tide for some while, so a lot of things have gotten washed away. So I just have a little cleaning up to do. The only stones that stood, I had to restack the Oshun grid. The only stones that actually stood were the Ogun and Siren, the Ezuli. So essentially like the Ogun and Ezuli. The marriage stones. They're the only ones that were untouched, that weren't washed away. So, one thing that I found is very powerful about me, is my ability to speak truth, to speak my truth. A lot of people are terrified of keeping it real. A lot of people are afraid to express their pain, and they live in perpetual pain. And they do desperate things to heal, because they're not actively healing themselves. They're not expressing their pain. They're not asking for help. They're not venting. They're doing whatever is, will keep you socially acceptable. And sometimes it's easier to go, sleep with random people than it is to say, I need to be celibate. My womb has been hurt. My womb has been damaged. My womb has been abused. So sometimes it's easier for people to just go around and sleep around, or sleep with someone else's person to give you an ego boost, or to, you know, do something desperate like sharing somebody or settling for less. It's not easy to be celibate. It's not easy to constantly turn down people because they can't meet simple standards. It's not easy to constantly turn down black men because they don't qualify. It's not easy. It's not fun, but it's healthier. To be honest, if I think about it, it's not easy waking up after working doubles, working long weeks, working long days, doing strenuous work, doing 3 times the work because you work with a bunch of lazy, demon-possessed, you know, co-workers who will get away with not doing anything while you're busting your ass and not getting paid for the work that you do. That's not easy. It's not easy to be celibate and not sleep with the people who you could sleep with because you want something more than sex. It's not easy to not have friends and to decide I'm not going to go out and I'm not going to try and impress these people because at the end of the day they don't like me, and I it's better to go out by myself because I like myself instead of going out trying to impress people who are not like-minded, who are not evenly yoked, who are wicked inside, who don't have morals and principles, and who don't give a fuck about me. And what I'm saying is, you know, I haven't had much to say, and I decided to go live because I decided to come outside for the dog days of summer. I haven't even been coming to my Oshun grid. This is my first time coming here in probably since the last time I did a photo shoot. And I haven't even posted barely any of the photos or footage from the last 3 photo shoots that I've done in the summer. I haven't been interacting with you all on social media. I've been saying things, of course, talking about black men because black men are a problem for me. It's, you know, everyone's life is different. My life, you know what I'm saying, when you are an active solution to white supremacy, you are confronted with the reality that white supremacy is not always the root of the problem. The root, when you're talking about root work and when you deal with voodoo, when you deal with real black power, the power of black spirit, which is voodoo, and you use that as an active solution, doing the root work is dealing with the root of the problem. And the root of the problem is lack of masculinity. That was a problem far before white people existed or came into power. But people don't have access to Akashic records, and people don't have the willingness to read the Bible and open up the gates to these Akashic records. You know, with that literature. People would rather listen to New Age doctrine and all this New Age stuff instead of accept that the man was created in God's image with responsibility and dominion over the planet. And the woman was created in the man's image for the man. And when we get the formula correct, I, as a black revolutionary, as a solution to white supremacy, as, you know, as a healer to the damage that has been done, have to really, you know, clear out the infection. And the infection is we have no masculine principles. You can't be a female when the men are too busy being the female. As a black woman who's the active solution, I deal with the root work. And that's why I talk about black men and the lack of masculinity and the active decision of black men to have no masculinity. It's not white supremacy. Half of the time, the damage that is done to black women, white men and women are nowhere around. But I don't really want to talk about too many racial issues. I just want to address, you know, what I've been realizing, what, you know, sharing myself, sharing my power, my ability to speak truth to power, my willingness to say things without worrying about who's going to get offended or who's going to accept me, because I already know who accepts me. The people who have rolled with me since day one, the people who are still here, the people who I may offend every now and then with expressing my opinion or my views or my observations, but they still love me. The people who have helped me when I needed help, when I needed things, the people who gave me what I needed, the people who were there for me and I didn't have to ask. Because you weren't offended and you weren't scared of my power. You saw the truth. People fear power. People fear powerful women. The reason I'm saying the things I'm saying about what it's not easy to do, it's not easy to really connect to the Most High, because it requires leaving your connections to earthly things, to the world. And that includes your little stupid ass friends that you hang out with, who don't have anything intellectual to say, who don't have any talent to share or express with others, who don't have any business of their own, so they constantly gossip about other people, who don't have any class, so they're constantly rubbing shoulders and interacting with other lowly, impoverished, weak-minded, uneducated, immoral motherfuckers. Because they don't know how to rotate in places where people have dignity and self-respect and an aristocratic mentality. And the sophistication that comes with the responsibility of being an example and royalty and a leader. You know, you outgrow the Jezebel spirited energy of the new age. You just kind of outgrow it. And all I'm saying is, it's not really easy to love yourself and connect to yourself, because everybody wants to get on social media and get accepted and get likes and get loves and get attention and get all of the things that you're not getting at home and you're not getting from the Most High, because you're not nurturing the Most High. You're not spending time with the Most High. You're not investing in the Most High. You're not sacrificing something to connect with the Most High in a greater way. I guess all I'm saying is, I've been really doing me, keeping my thoughts kind of to myself, keeping my energy to myself. I'm definitely going to get in the water. But my point is, if I thought about it, I'm not necessarily happier than I would be if I had a partner, if I had a support system, if I had a lover. But I'm happier than being with someone who does not respect me, than being with somebody who cannot keep up with me, than being with somebody who is not as intelligent as me and can't hold a conversation, or we're constantly arguing because we don't speak the same intellectual language. We don't have the same mentality. You know what I'm saying? The same vibration, so to speak. It's better than being with somebody who makes you feel good for a moment and then makes you feel like shit afterwards, because they just use you for sex. Because they just want something from you for a moment and they have nothing else to offer, so they go ghost on you. It's better than being with someone who's abusive, who wants to make you feel bad every time you succeed because they don't feel good about their failures. It's better than hanging around people who are jealous of you and are only hanging around you so they can figure out how to imitate you, so they can get the same attention that you get for really truly having a beautiful soul. You know, being alone, being solitary, being single being celibate. It's not necessarily going to make you any happier than actually being happy and being loved properly and being healed and being taken care of and being nurtured. But you will be healthier and you will be happier than having less than what you deserve. There's no deficit. There may be a void, but it doesn't mean you're empty. It doesn't mean you're lacking something. When you learn to not have desires, like when you really learn to not desire fleshly things and to control the desires and to realize you have everything you need, there's a different vibration, there's a different energy. And I really actually learned that. I've learned to appreciate the fact that I don't have things that I don't need. And after a while, that translates into I have everything that I need. I have everything that I need. And in the end of the day, the only thing I really need is my relationship with the Most High. Everyone's worried about things when chaos requires you to walk in faith. Anything can happen. Stock your food. Someone could steal it. It could burn up. It could rot. Build a wall. Somebody could build a tunnel under it, fly over it, break through it. A group of people could band together and come and decide to raid your secure place and location. Store up on supplies. Someone could still come and injure you to the point where you can't even function well enough to use your supplies, or you may get injured from a freak accident where all these supplies and gizmos and gadgets mean nothing now because you don't have your basic health and wellness. Stock up on guns. The government's about to take them all from you anyway. You know, what I'm saying is a lot of people, there's a lot of things you can do to prepare, and that's great. But at the end of the day, we live in chaos, not order. There is order, but there is chaos. Anything can happen. So the only real security that I realize is my relationship with the Most High, my prayers, that something doesn't happen. And my understanding that when bad things happen, or when things that you don't want to happen, when obstacles happen to you in your life, when you lose things, when you lose loved ones, when you get injured, you know, there's still hope, there's still purpose. And you can't really I don't know, I guess you just don't really understand those things until you really read the Bible and read about people who have been through the things. You can listen to people's survival stories, but when you read the Bible, you understand it from a different perspective. You understand the Most High, how the Most High thinks and feels and behaves and judges and allows through the stories of the people in the Bible and what they went through. Job is a great example. The Most High allows evil, allows you to be tested by evil. But when I just having a relationship with the Most High, I don't worry about paying my bills or my cats, you know, or even myself. I don't worry as much because I look back and I realize anything could have happened to me. The things I've been through, the situations that I end up in and put myself in and have chosen to be in, you know, coming out with essentially scars that are not visible. Scars that you can only see when I'm expressing myself. You know, like, there's no reason for me to not just thank the Most High every day. And it's hard to, I do, but I don't do it publicly. The things that I project publicly deal with my responsibility to wake up you zombies and you sleeping idiots who just drool over TV and listen to all this this brainwashing, degenerate music that's literally poisoning you. Like, peace, the poet reality. I watched your upload. I appreciate you as a new subscriber. I also want to thank my new subscribers and new followers. I love y'all because you all are seeing, you are getting the harsher version of me. Some people have known me, you know, back before I became really harsh toward black people in the revolution. And that was before I realized the real solutions, you know. But I want to thank y'all for recognizing truth and not being afraid of it, but subscribing. Anytime somebody subscribes to Black High Priestess, I don't care who you are. Anytime you subscribe to Black High Priestess, you're subscribing to truth. You're subscribing to an ancient truth. You're subscribing to power. You're subscribing to black women being elevated. You're subscribing to black love, whether you realize it or not. You're subscribing to the truth, and and I appreciate that. I appreciate people who are willing to subscribe to the truth, because that's what you do when you follow me and you subscribe to me and you listen to me. Even those of you who disagree and dislike, you all are subscribing to it. You just doing it in a argumentative way. Everybody don't act the same, but you're still subscribing to it. You're just not admitting to it yet. Those of you who, if I argue with you, it's probably because I think your mind is worth changing. I don't deal with people. I don't care. So if I argue with you, it's probably because your mind is actually worth trying to change. And that's the other thing. Stop arguing with zombies. Stop arguing with racists. Stop arguing with sexists. Stop arguing with fuckboys. And stop arguing with uneducated people. That's the number one thing. I can't stand an uneducated person. Because then you got to teach them so you can argue with nobody got time for that. See, that's when you know how you have to deal with things, and it's time to come from out of Babylon and stop lowering your vibration to interact with demons. There's so much more y'all could do than be on Facebook and talking about what we need to do about single motherhood and interracial dating and white supremacy. You know, if you are an active solution, you don't need to argue about it. You don't need to talk about it. You're probably too busy selling your products or going around, you know, giving speeches, motivating people, making artwork, you know what I'm saying, or movies or something. You're probably too busy creating a solution to argue with people who just don't get it and who have nothing else to offer but a post on Facebook about it. You know, I guess all I'm saying is just be wise, people. Don't waste time with stuff that doesn't matter. And don't listen to elders who don't know what they're talking about. There's a lot of older people out here who just have not led the youth. Don't have no way of leading the youth. You know, there's a lot. They just don't actually have no actual wisdom. You wanna earn some wisdom. Listen to somebody who has been in active combat. Listen to somebody who has fought in a war on active duty and active combat. Listen to somebody who has had to kill for a living legally, meaning, you know. Listen to somebody who has survived the streets, who has survived prison, who has, you know, cleaned up their life, who used to be on drugs and hasn't touched drugs in over a decade. So, you know, listen, you want to listen to someone with wisdom, listen to somebody who has the career that you have always wanted, who is active in that career. Find a role model, find somebody who genuinely is doing something that you genuinely want to do, and listen to their story, how they made it. It's probably not going to be the fuckery that you hear a lot of people saying on TV, because all of that shit is staged. And they always tell you the same rags to riches bullshit story, which is all false. None of these motherfuckers in Hollywood came from rags to riches, unless they sold their soul. Yeah, peace. I see you, polar reality. You know, all I'm saying is, if you all want real, like, wisdom, listen to people who are living the life, not acting it out on TV. I'm saying actively living that lifestyle. Listen to an upstanding police officer. Some of the things that they see on active duty. Not these pigs out here who just like to take your freedom. You know what I'm saying? Just about all cops are damn near the same, but there's some who actually want to protect and serve and got into law enforcement. Not being a pig cop who goes around and takes your freedom and has their pig ass stomach sticking out and goes around and likes to wreck other people's stuff. You know, most cops are just like degenerates with guns. Some of the most, you know. But what I'm saying is, don't think just because someone's old or on TV or has some bullshit rags to riches. No, like, actually, if you want to learn something, listen to somebody who's been in active duty and in combat. Listen to real men. Listen to women who are married. And it's not nothing against women who are not. I'm not married. But ladies, you got to understand something. Relating to a man requires femininity, a real man. And women who have real men who are faithful to them, who are raising children, listen to that woman. Learn what it's like to be a real woman, because a lot of you women don't know how to be feminine. You could tell by the way you look, and the way you carry yourself, that you really don't know how to be feminine. And it's a wonder that anybody will sleep with you. But nowadays, men ain't masculine. They just need, you know, to get their dick wet. They're not actually looking for women most of the time. Hence the faggot culture we live in. But ladies, a lot of you all don't actually know how to be feminine. You don't actually know how to respect men. You don't know how to carry yourself in a respectful way. You're constantly trying to control and manipulate men with your sexuality and with your aggressiveness. You don't allow a man to be a man and take the lead. You're so busy being aggressive and trying to manipulate men sexually and everything that you don't realize that's not a man. A man wouldn't let a woman come and manipulate him and run him and talk all loud around him. And, you know, no, that's not, men don't allow that from a woman. You be a woman or you move around. You see, ladies, you don't know how, a real man, because you're too busy acting like one. And I'm not even talking about butch women right now. I'm talking about women who you go around trying to manipulate men sexually and seducing and doing all these things and trying to control him. That's not ladylike. That's not ladylike. You know? Let a man come at you. Like, why would you want a man who you have to go and it's not, if you one of these cougar women out here, and I'm not talking about you got to be older than 45. I'm talking about the attitude of a cougar, the attitude of, I'm on the prowl and I'm going to get what I want. And most likely a real man is not going to accept my feminine prowl attitude. So I have to find someone younger and dumber who I can easily seduce. That's the cougar mentality. It's no different than the sugar daddy mentality. I gotta find a younger girl who I could throw money at, who doesn't require much anything from me, who I can play with like she's a stupid Barbie doll and pay her for her time. Instead of finding a real woman who I have to respect and earn. So, you know what I'm saying? Some of you women, you got this little cougar mentality where you wouldn't know a real man. Because you too busy trying to act like one. Let a man approach you. Let a man take the lead. Try something different, ladies. Try when you're around men. Try doing something different. Try being quiet, crossing your legs, keeping your eyes down instead of looking men in the eyes all the time, seeing whether or not he's paying attention to you. Try being humble and being silent and waiting and see, does he notice you? Does he want to interact with you? Is he going to be a man and take the lead? Or do you have to act like a damn hoe in order to get his attention and to get him to give you the attention? Because if you do, one, remember something, ladies. A lot of men out here are already taken, and that's why you have to do all this extra work to get his attention. You don't want that type of man, and you don't want a man who you have to come at. It's nothing wrong, but if you don't look good already and know how to flirt with your eyes and your body language without being slutty or hoish or promiscuous or sexually aggressive, you know what I'm saying? Touching men inappropriately, throwing yourself at him, don't do all of those things. Let a man notice you. Learn how to be passively feminine. A lot of you women can't do that. You can't carry yourself a certain way. You don't know how to dress in a style and put yourself together. You know what I'm saying? To show your femininity, where everyone respects you, not just men not just men, but everybody respects the way you carry yourself. Ladies, do you have any form of real femininity? Or are you so haughty and full of pride and feminine arrogance that you think all men are so stupid and easily manipulated? Like, if you want a real man, you got to learn how to be a lady. How to be silent, how to be humble, how to be supportive. You don't really understand real men, because real men are not like these little bitch ass little fucking faggot ass beta men out here who won't expect you to open the door for him because he's so busy acting gay. Ladies, if you want a real man, you got to be a woman first and see where the real men are. When you're acting like a lady, you're going to see who the real men are. When you have heels on and you're carrying your purse and you're ladylike and you're dressed like a lady, is a man going to carry the heavy bag for you? Is he going to open the door for you? Is he going to get up and escort you, let you sit? Like, if you're not carrying yourself as a lady, you're not going to recognize a real man. Carry yourself as a lady and see and let the men show that they are real men. Then you treat these men like men. And for God's sakes, ladies, let a man come at you sometimes. It's not, and the reason I'm saying that, maybe I'm a little old fashioned, but the reason I'm saying that is because a real man, it has that masculine testosterone where he wants to seek out, where he wants to conquer, where he wants dominance, dominion. Okay? Let a man seek you out. Let him conquer. Let him do the pursuing. Because if he's not, and he's expecting you, what woman wants a relationship where you have to be the aggressor? You have to take the lead. You have to pursue him. You have to ask him on a date. You have to constantly flirt with him to get his attention. You have to do all that. You don't want that type of man. Now, some of you ladies, yeah, you're flirting with the man because he's the sexy one, or he's the attractive one, or he's the fun, good looking, whatever one. But is he the real man? Sometimes, ladies, and here's my perfect example. Here we go. Bow. Game of Thrones. Who watched Game of Thrones? Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Brienne of Tarth. Brienne of Tarth. Perfect example. This woman needs a real man. Big, tall, broad, okay? You know, and I'm not saying that in a disrespectful way. You guys know I am good for having lady crushes. Y'all know I have lady crushes. Brienne of Tarth is not a lady crush like say Maleficent or someone, you know what I'm saying, who I like. But like Brienne of Tarth is someone who I really like, really respect. And she has that femininity where she requires real masculinity. So here comes a guy, a wildling, may not be as sophisticated and like a knight and you know, as royal and as regal and as Jaime Lannister. You know, I forgot the wildling's name. I forgot that dude's name, the redhead. But when she got knighted, he was clapping harder than anybody. He kept pursuing her. The moment he saw her, he's like, that's a real woman. That's a woman who's my size. Because he was a real man who wanted a real woman. And he saw that she was a real woman. He was the one coming at her. He was asking about, even when she wasn't around and they were fighting, he was thinking about her. You know what I'm saying? He wanted her. But who did she choose to sleep with? Jaime fucking Lannister, bitch. You in love with your sister, nothing wrong with that. She chose to sleep with a man who only saw one part of her that he conquered, but who didn't have anything to offer her because he was in love with another woman. That's why you know what I'm saying, Jaime Lannister didn't come at her until the ginger came and showed her real manhood. A real man is going to come at you because that's the man who's going to like you, who's going to love you, and who's going to take care of you. Not somebody who, yeah, you guys had some history, you went through something together, and that was romantic, like Jaime Lannister and Brienne of Tarth surviving what they went through, escaping the Boltons and this, that, and the third. That was romantic, but nothing happened then between them because Jaime was trying to get back to his sister. He was in love with another woman the whole time. But when Jaime had his chance, he said, you know what, let me get my dick wet, I'm gonna take her honor. When she could have been with a man who would have loved you properly and not left you the same fucking night to go back to the woman you really loved. I hope y'all are listening to what I'm trying to say, ladies. Like, be a lady first. Be a lady. And Brienne of Tarth was just as much a lady as anybody. Just because she could fight did not take away her femininity. But she didn't recognize what she deserved. You deserved a man who would come at you from day one, who was single, who was available, who was your size, who was evenly yoked. You chose a man who was pretty, who was attractive, who you had a history with, but he never came at you the proper way because he had another woman already. A man will come at you forward, front, you know, keep it real with you. If he doesn't have no woman on the side and he sees you, he's attracted to you, he has something to offer, he may look like a wildling. He may drink milk all nasty and not be shaven. He may not be what you like in a man, but he will give you what you deserve as a woman because he sees you as that. Not a sex doll, not a piece of ass, not something that he can conquer for his ego for that moment and notch you on his fucking belt while he's really loving someone else. I hope you ladies understand what I'm trying to tell you. Be feminine if you want a real man. If you want these little dudes out here who is kind of half gay anyway and already in love with someone else and already got another woman, but they're attractive and they're fun and this and that, go have your fun. But I'm letting you know, ladies, sometimes you're making the wrong exceptions. You're making exceptions like he don't have a car, he don't have a job, but he's attractive and he got a big dick. Fuck all of that. Does he love you? Does he give you time and attention? Does he give you tokens of appreciation in public? Not trying to impress his boys and act like he don't really like you and act like he not in love with you and act like he's trying to use you for sex to impress his boys and be... Is he showing that you mean something to him? Does he not care what his boys think? Is he letting other women come, and now that you all are falling in love, is he letting other women come in between it because they can't stand to see some other woman happy and in love? Is he letting all these other women who come around, once a lady finds a real man, other women, that's when other women want him. You know what I mean. Nobody wants you guys until you're married, right? It's not the same with women. But when it comes to men, a lot of women don't recognize a man until he is taken. Because you know what I'm saying? Then you want, because a lot of women, you don't want a man, you want what other women have because your heart's full of jealousy. You know what I'm saying? You just want what another woman has. And now that you see a good woman getting a good man, now you want him. But you didn't want him when he was single because he didn't look good as the other popular dude type shit. But all I'm saying is, ladies, like, be ladylike, be humble about it if you want a real man, because you want to see what a man's like. You want him to take the lead. A lot of you ladies, you letting these men get too far and you haven't checked him out. You have not checked him out. You letting him in too much and you haven't checked him out. What are his parents like? What are his friends like? How many women does he have in his life? Does he have children? Can he keep a job? Like, check these dudes out. When you see red flags, heed it. I don't care how little the red flag is. If it's a red flag to you, if it's a first, second, third date, and there's something that makes you uncomfortable that you would not want to deal with in a long-term relationship, that's a red flag. If you're out on a date and you agree that this is a date and we're on a date getting to know each other, and you're carrying yourself like a lady and he's carrying himself like a gentleman, if not a man, gentleman, or at least a man. Some men aren't gentle, and that's fine as long as you're a man. And you all are on a date and he's out flirting with other women in a way that you would not want from a boyfriend or husband. That's a red flag, ladies. It's a red flag. If a man can't give you his time, his undivided time and attention, he will not be a good husband. So some of you ladies, if you want a good husband, yes, he needs to protect, he needs to provide. But remember something, anything can happen to your husband. He can get injured, he can lose his job. Now, where does the wife come in? So ladies, think about what you want from a husband. Because if you just want someone to pay some bills or whatever, and you're planning on cheating on him all the time, whatever, I don't know. You know, then maybe you need to listen to some of these hip hop hoes or something. I don't know. But if you want a man, a life partner, if a man can't give you his undivided time and attention on simple dates to get to know you, it's not the guy for you. Now, know the difference between a red flag and a personality flaw that you may just have to accept over time. Some men don't always know how to deal with women or how to talk to women. But if you feel safe around him and you feel comfortable and respected, don't worry about whether he's the funniest guy or the best looking guy, or whether he knows how to flirt with you or be the life of the party or all this other little stuff, or whether he's even the smartest, if you feel safe around him and you feel comfortable around him and you feel protected around him, don't worry about all the extra stuff. Because you probably ain't the most interesting motherfucker either. That I know. Most of you women are stupid. Most females are dumb. That's why you all act the way you do. Because you really don't have much talent and nothing to offer. And some of you women are just not feminine. Some of you women who are smart and intelligent and very talented and successful, you all are ugly as fuck. You look like men. And you're not even gay. You just look like men. So it's just like, ladies, get your shit together too. Stop looking for stuff in a man that you can't even offer. For real. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm just enjoying the dog days of summer here, and I haven't talked to y'all in a minute, and I'm just enjoying my secret sacred ocean grid, my spot here before I have to go. I would call it the slave plantation, but I'll keep it real. This job does not feel like that. Where I work for money right now is somewhere where I can appreciate the reasons and the season that I'm here and there. And that's what you want to get to, a point where you don't look at your job as, oh, I'm, like, take pride in what you do. No matter what you do, take pride in it, and you won't feel like you're at work. When you feel like you're a representation of the Most High in everything that you do, and when you decide that I want to do my best and look my best, because at any day, at any time, I don't know who's watching and who's noticing, but at any given time where I'm at, somebody of influence may notice me for the right reason. So I always want to put my best foot forward, because you don't know what rewards you may get. The best rewards are not ones you can cash at the bank. Trust me. Money comes and goes, but making an impression on the right people, that could sustain your life and your livelihood in ways that you don't even realize, but it could last in the future. Try to be remembered for the right things, and that comes with learning that when I step out in public, as Black Eyed Priestess, I got to worry about my brand. Anytime I get in an Uber, anytime I go outside, I don't know who's seen my uploads, who knows me. I don't know who might want to start an argument because they heard something I said. I still live in the hood. Okay, I don't know who might ask. I don't know who may have money, who may ask me. If I'm not ready to give my 30-second mission statement, I may miss out on sponsorship. You know what I mean? You just don't know out here. So when you're really a business entrepreneur, you just don't think the same. You can't rotate the same. Because any day, anywhere you go, that may be a potential client. That may be a potential gig or job or income. Or more importantly for me as Black Eyed Priestess, that may be a potential soul that I can save from purgatory. That may be a potential Black person who I can break the chains of white supremacy for. So at some point, people, take yourself a little bit seriously, and you'll start to see changes and start to pray, and you'll be able to do things and make decisions that you couldn't make before. You'll be able to decide to be happy. You'll be able to decide that I'm going to do my best job even though I'm not getting paid. You'll be able to decide that I'm not going to go around sleeping with anyone and I'm drinking, smoking, which is something that I definitely am still working on. But you'll just be able to decide things and live a way that you can't live unless you got Holy Spirit doing it for you. Because there's just some things that come from Holy Spirit. It comes from Holy Spirit. Our flesh is different than our spirit. And there's some things that the flesh just won't allow, that you need spirit to overcome. And overcoming wrath and pride and gluttony, lust, sloth, envy. There's one more. Lust, sloth, pride, wrath, envy. Gluttony. And what's the other 7 deadly? I'm missing one, y'all. There's 7 deadly sins. There's one that I'm missing. Wrath, sloth, gluttony, lust, pride, envy. There's one I'm missing. If somebody could tell me the one that I'm missing before I get off this upload, I'll give you a complimentary 1 question reading. There's one I'm missing. Greed. Bow. Greed. That's the one that I was missing. So these are things that These 7 deadly sins: greed, pride, lust, sloth, wrath, envy, gluttony. The 7 deadly sins are if you're battling that, you know, and you're fighting that within yourself, there's certain things you just can't do without Holy Spirit, that you just can't overcome without Holy Spirit. There's certain decisions that you just can't make without the Holy Spirit coming in and helping you change your life. The decision to be a good father, the decision to be a faithful husband, the decision to be a humble, supportive, feminine wife. Do you know how many women in the Bible were concubines and got cheated on and had to share their man, but still remained humble? Women don't know how to be feminine. You don't really understand a man. And the Bible doesn't say nothing about a man having more than one wife. But it does talk about a woman knowing her place. You were made for the man. Anyway. I guess it's just time to go. So this might just my check-in. One last view. Time for me to get in the water. I watched Wonder Woman. It was a great movie. I will be doing the review soon. I probably got like 12. At this point, I got like 12 movies that I got to do the review on. Like I said, I've been still doing my blog, my foodie thing. I just haven't posted. I haven't updated anything. I haven't had the right energy. I've been saving a lot of it for my healing. So I will get back to y'all with my food and film blogs, and I will be answering some other questions. So I guess I could say this. Stay tuned for my next upload, or the next couple uploads. I will be answering a question that one of my coworkers posed to me, and so I wanted to do an upload about it because it's an excellent subject matter, which was it was kind of a question, kind of a statement, that I heard you practice black magic. So I want to do an upload explaining why that's not completely accurate. There is a difference between black magic and witchcraft. And in my next upload, I want to explain the difference between black magic and witchcraft. I am a witch. I practice African spirituality. I know black magic, but I do not practice black magic. I'm a witch. So, peace and love, everyone. And I'll see you in the next upload. Happy Friday.